The elevator door slid open on the 42nd floor. And there he was, Ryan Caldwell, holding a plain white envelope like it was just another quarterly report. No drama. No fanfare. Just Ryan. Tie knotted perfectly. Shoulders relaxed. Eyes steady as if he were heading to a routine client lunch instead of detonating the last 5 years of his career. I was at my desk, pretending to review a performance dashboard. But my eyes were locked on him. Everyone else was too busy with their screens to notice. That was Ryan's thing. He moved through the office like background music. Always there. Never loud. Impossible to ignore once you really listened. He knocked once on Elena Voss's glass door. She waved him in without looking up. Still typing. Still ruling. Elena Voss, the managing director who built Pinnacle Financial Partners from a 3-person shop into a New York powerhouse. She'd mentored Ryan personally, called him her secret weapon at holiday parties when the champagne flowed. He stepped inside, closed the door softly, and placed the envelope on her desk. I couldn't hear the words, but I saw her face change. First confusion, then amusement, then the slow drain of color when she actually read it. She laughed short, sharp, the kind of laugh that covers panic, then stood up so fast her chair rolled back and hit the credenza. You're serious? Her voice carried through the glass, loud enough that heads turned. Ryan didn't flinch. He just nodded once, calm as ever. Elena crumpled the letter in her fist. Because of Brooke? You're throwing everything away over promotion. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. The silence said more than any argument could. I'd been at Pinnacle for 18 months, fresh out of Wharton, still learning the unspoken rules. Ryan had been here 7 years. Clients trusted him the way you trust gravity. Automatic. Unquestioned. He never chased credit. Never played politics. He just delivered. And Elena had always rewarded that until she didn't. 3 weeks earlier, at the all-hands meeting, she'd announced Brooke Voss, her 29-year-old niece, as the new vice president of client strategy. Brooke, with her Ivy League degree, her perfectly curated LinkedIn, her habit of name-dropping celebrity clients she'd advised during internships. The room clapped politely. Ryan clapped too, slow, measured, like he was acknowledging a weather report. Afterward, in the break room, I asked him what he thought. He poured coffee. Black. No sugar. Every organization reveals its priorities eventually, he said quietly. You just have to decide if you can live with them. I thought he was joking. I was wrong.
Now,
Watching Elena pace her office while Ryan stood still as stone, I realized he'd been planning this for months. Maybe years. Elena finally spoke again. You think the clients will follow you? They're loyal to Pinnacle. To me. Ryan looked at her, not angry, not smug, just clear. Clients are loyal to people they trust, not logos. He turned to leave. She slammed her palm on the desk. You walk out that door. You're burning every bridge in this city. He paused in the doorway. I'm not burning anything.
Elena.
I'm just choosing where to build next. And then he was gone. The office didn't explode right away. It simmered. Brooke showed up an hour later in a new blazer. Hair perfect, ready to claim her throne. She walked past Ryan's empty desk without noticing it was empty. She was too busy practicing her vision statement in the reflection of the conference room glass. I stayed late that night, scrolling through old emails. Ryan had trained me on half the major accounts. He'd never asked for recognition. He'd just done the work. And somewhere along the way, he'd inserted a single clause into every major client contract, the continuity of relationship provision. It read like boilerplate. In the event of a key consultant's departure, the client may elect to continue services with said consultant provided the consultant affiliates with a firm of equal or greater standing within 30 days. Legal had waved it through. Elena had signed off. No one thought twice about it.
Until now.
The first call came at 7:42 a.m. The next morning, I was the only one in yet early bird habit from my internship days. The phone rang on the main line. I picked up. Pinnacle Financial. This is Alex. A deep voice. Calm but firm. This is David Langford from Langford Capital. I need to speak with Ryan Caldwell. I swallowed. Ryan is no longer with the firm. Sir. Long pause. Then who's handling our portfolio? I glanced toward Elena's office. Her door was closed. We're transitioning that. Mr. Langford. I can have someone. I'd prefer to invoke the continuity provision, he said. As if ordering coffee. Ryan told me he's joining Horizon Wealth Advisors. I'd like to transfer the account there. I froze. I'll need to confirm that with management. Confirm whatever you need, he said. But the clause is clear. We're exercising it. Send the paperwork. He hung up. By 9 o'clock, 2 more clients had emailed the same request. Not to Elena. Not to Brooke. To the general inbox. CCNG Ryan's old address. Which now bounced. Brooke walked into the bullpen like she owned it. Morning. Team. Big day ahead. Let's crush it. She didn't notice the quiet. She didn't notice the glances. She started assigning tasks like nothing had changed. Elena emerged from her office at 9:30. Face composed. Voice controlled. Team meeting. Conference room.
Now.
We filed in. Brooke sat at the head of the table. Notebook open. Pen poised. Elena stood. Ryan has decided to pursue other opportunities, she said, as if announcing a weather delay. We're handling the transition smoothly. Brooke will be stepping in on key accounts. Business as usual. Someone coughed. No one spoke. Elena's smile tightened. Questions? Silence. She nodded. Good. Back to work. But it wasn't business as usual. By noon, 5 clients had formally requested the transfer. Legal was scrambling. Brooke tried calling one of them, old-school money manager named Paul Whitaker. She got him on speaker in her office. Mr. Whitaker. This is Brooke Voss, VP of Client Strategy. I wanted to personally. I asked for Ryan, he interrupted. I'm invoking the clause. Send the paperwork. Brooke's face went white. But I...
Click.
She stared at the phone like it had slapped her. Elena pulled her aside. I couldn't hear the words, but I saw Brooke's shoulders slump. For the first time, she looked small. That afternoon, Elena called Ryan. I know because she left her door cracked. I heard her voice, sharp, then pleading, then angry. You can't do this. Those clients are ours. Ryan's reply was too quiet to catch. Elena slammed the phone down. I stayed late again. I found the original contract revisions from 2 years ago. Ryan had proposed the clause during a late-night session. He'd framed it as client-friendly. Elena had laughed and said, You're too nice, Ryan. But fine. Add it. She'd signed it herself. The bleeding accelerated. Wednesday morning. The office felt hollow. Desks empty. Phones ringing unanswered. The coffee machine sat cold. Brooke tried to rally the team. She scheduled a strategy sync. Only 4 people showed up. She talked about fresh perspectives and digital-first engagement. No one took notes. Elena locked herself in her office. I saw her through the glass, pacing, phone to ear, face tight. At 11 o'clock, the board called an emergency meeting. I wasn't invited, but the whispers spread fast. The clause was watertight. Clients couldn't be stopped. Pinnacle had agreed to it. The only way to block it would be to prove Ryan was going independent or to a lesser firm. He wasn't. Horizon Wealth Advisors was bigger, better capitalized, higher rated. By end of day, 8 accounts had transferred.
8.
Multi-million-dollar relationships gone. Elena emerged at 6 p.m. Eyes red. She walked straight to Ryan's old desk, opened the drawer, and pulled out a single-framed photo, him with a client at a golf outing. She stared at it for a long moment, then dropped it in the trash. Brooke was in the break room, scrolling her phone, pretending to work. She looked up when Elena entered. "We need to stop this," Brooke said. "Call the clients. Explain." Elena laughed. Bitter. Hollow. "Explain what?" "That we promoted you over the man they actually trusted." Brooke flinched. "I earned that role." Elena stared at her. "You earned a title. Ryan earned their money." She walked out. "I went home that night and couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Ryan. He'd never bragged. Never complained. He'd just prepared." Thursday brought more bad news. A major client, Harrington Group, sent a formal notice. They cited the clause. They were moving to Horizon. Elena called a crisis meeting. The room was half empty. People were already updating resumes. "We're containing this," she said. "We'll offer retention bonuses." "We'll." A senior partner interrupted. "They're not leaving for money.
Elena.
They're leaving for Ryan." The room went quiet. Elena's jaw tightened. "Then we sue." Legal shook their head. "We sign the clause. We'd lose." Elena looked around the table. No one met her eyes. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. "What's happening over there?" I recognized the area code. One of Ryan's old clients. I didn't reply. Friday was chaos. The office smelled like panic and stale coffee. HR had a stack of exit interviews scheduled. The Slack channels were full of good luck messages and deactivated accounts. Brooke walked in wearing sunglasses, indoors. She tried to smile. It didn't work. Elena didn't come in until noon. When she did, she went straight to the boardroom. The board had arrived early, 3 gray-haired men in dark suits, faces grim. I wasn't in the room, but I heard the aftermath. Elena emerged pale. She'd been stripped of operational control. Pending review. Translation, she was done. Brooke was reassigned to special projects. Code for nothing. The real blow came that afternoon. A press release from Horizon Wealth Advisors. "We are pleased to welcome Ryan Caldwell as Managing Director of Institutional Advisory." No fanfare. Just a link to his new bio. And then the flood. Clients started calling, not Pinnacle, but Ryan directly. They were polite. Professional. They were exercising their right. By Monday, 12 accounts had left. The firm was hemorrhaging revenue. Elena tried one last move. She sent a company-wide email. "We value loyalty. We are committed to rebuilding stronger." No one responded. I saw her in the elevator that afternoon. She looked smaller. She didn't speak. Just stared at the floor numbers. I quit the next week. I wasn't going to be part of the cleanup. 6 months later, I ran into Ryan at an industry conference in Boston. He was on stage, presenting a new client retention model he'd built. The room was packed. People leaned forward. Phones were out. Afterward, he spotted me in the crowd. He smiled, small, genuine. We grabbed coffee. "How's Horizon?" I asked. "Quiet," he said. "The way I like it." I asked about Pinnacle. He shrugged. "They're still there. I heard they'd lost almost half their book of business." Elena was consulting for small firms in Florida. Brooke had started a podcast on modern leadership. It had 12 listeners. Ryan didn't gloat. He didn't need to. He showed me something on his phone, a framed copy of the continuity clause, hanging in his new office. "Not for revenge," he said. For a reminder. I asked if he ever regretted it. He looked out the window at the city. Some people threatened to leave. Others leave and take the map with them. He finished his coffee and stood. Take care, Alex. He walked away calm,
Steady.
already planning the next quiet move. And somewhere, in the wreckage of Pinnacle, Elena Voss probably still wonders how she missed it. She didn't miss the signs. She ignored them. Because power makes you blind. And trust walks out the door when you least expect it. And it never comes back the same way.